Welcome back, friends, and as you can see, we got a new project here at the goat ranch. It is a 32-year-old project, to be exact. This is a 1992 Ranger 362V. I wasn't planning on buying a bass boat. Told my wife not too long ago, I have no intentions of ever owning a bass boat. I'm not gonna do that. Why would I do that? I love my John boat, it's cool. But I was looking for a used motor for the John boat, maybe a little bigger one, a 20 horse or something. I kept seeing these older bass boats out there for, I want to say next to nothing, but it was pretty darn cheap. So I did a little more research and went down that rabbit hole, and this is what we got. So it's a great boat. I went and looked at some stuff, some other boats, and some of this stuff just needs to be hauled to the back and set on fire. Let the volunteer fire department practice on it, because they're just junk. I don't understand people that just park their stuff out and never put a tarp over it and it just goes to hell. So stuff's basically worthless. But let's take a little tour around this one. It is a, like I said, a 362V, which means it has dual consoles. The 361 only has a single console and a single gas tank. This has a port and a starboard gas tank, but both versions are 36 gallons on either hull, doesn't matter. 18 foot, actually 1710 to be exact. Got a Ranger trailer, got Lowrance electronics. Believe it or not, they work. So we got Motor Glide 82 pound thrust Tour Edition that doesn't have a scratch on it. It does work, but one of the cables is broke for the steering, so I dropped it off. Gonna have them work on it. When we get it back, it'll be ready to rock. As you can see, this side of the boat super shiny on this side. I think they kept it on the side of their barn or something like that. One side gets some sun, the other side doesn't, because this is really shiny over here and smooth. The other side is a little bit more faded, but nothing I'm gonna mess with, at least not during the winter. Maybe we'll end up wet sanding this and polishing it, but right now we're not going to worry about it. Got two good tires here and pretty decent spare aluminum mag wheels. This thing was in crazy good shape. You can see there's a couple little cracks on the seats over there. All I did was clean them and condition them, and every boat I looked at, every single boat, seats are trashed in it. But what do you expect? It's a 30-year-old boat. So that's just part of it. Carpet in these things is always torn and screwed up. This carpet is faded just a little bit. You can see, as a matter of fact, there's a compartment. And what's cool about this version, it has a drop-in insert here to where you can expand this deck, and it's got a lid on it. I wanted to take it out until I got it on the lake and got my bearings on this thing, and then I'll put it right back in. It's held on with, or attached by, there's a bolt knob over there, one in the floor and another one on the side, nice and sturdy. A lot of these compartments that I looked at were just ragged out and had cracks in the lids where people had stood on them or whatever, and none of those are a problem here in this boat. Storage both sides, and in here, pedestal seat up here. This is original upholstery too. Did the same thing. I cleaned it and conditioned it. We had to work on this bushing here to get this thing out, and now it goes in and out just fine. Like I said, we got twin consoles. All the gauges work except this little Humminbird in dash right here. Lowrance HDS7 works, believe it or not. Got, like I said, all the gauges work, all the switches work. It has dual bilge pumps. One of them is not working. I'm not sure if it's the switch or the bilge. Have to check that out. Throttle is smooth, steering is smooth, tilt and trim works fine. Back here in the back, we've got 3 new batteries. He bought 3 new batteries for this thing and a 3-bank battery charger. This seat is the worst of them all. I don't know where it was stored, but it was flipped over, and you can see it was wet wherever it was stored. But once again, I cleaned and conditioned it. Very comfortable seat. But these are just seat covers, so they just snap on and off. I can buy more Ranger seat covers for it. Pneumatic up and down. Man, it's going to be great. To the Bullet back here, Johnson 150 Fast Strike. When he cranked this thing up on muffs, and he pulled it right out of the garage, so you know it wasn't warmed up or anything, he primed it, it cranked right up, and it sounds like a 6-cylinder top fuel dragster. Just badass. He spent a ridiculous amount of money going through the entire motor at the end of last year. I've got the receipts for it. I've got the compression numbers on it. Usually when you buy one of these, you're gonna have to buy a new prop because they're messed up. Part of the skeg down here at the bottom has been knocked off. I saw one boat where this was completely gone, where they backed into something, but this one is fine. I don't have to change the lower unit grease. I don't have to change impeller, which you're damn sure gonna have to do anything you buy. He had the carburetors completely gone through, and like I said, I got the receipts on all of it. Tilt and trim worked perfectly. Steering smooth. Got a couple new tie downs on the back. Registration is still good through the end of the year. I don't have to really register it if I don't want to right now, although I've already changed the title. Bunk board, this one has a little wear on it. The other one was, the carpet was almost off of that, so I replaced it real quick, and when I have time I'll do the other one. That wasn't a big deal. That's one of the things I did. And one other thing I did up here, the glove box wood was old and dried but had no cracks in it. It was in perfect condition, so all I did was stain it and put a couple coats of urethane on it. But I mean, this thing is clean. It's got a new fire extinguisher in it. The only thing he didn't give me were life jackets and a throw cushion. So anyhow, that's a tour of our little boat here, and I think the color combo is sweet. Like I said, this side is not quite as shiny as the other side, not quite as smooth, but I mean, look at that. For a 32-year-old boat, I'm not doing a damn thing to it. You know, I'm not replacing the carpet. I'm not doing anything. We're gonna load it up tomorrow and take it to the lake, and if it runs anything like it did in the driveway, I'm gonna be grinning like a possum. Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to take the Ranger out for a quick shakedown cruise over here at Lake Ray Hubbard. We don't live too far from it. I just basically want to get it in the water, run the engine, make sure everything works, don't have any leaks, anything like that. We're not going to get too far from the boat ramp because we don't have the trolling motor. I dropped it off to have some cables replaced on it, so don't want to get out there and get stranded in an unfamiliar boat. So, but it's just going to be just a little quickie, and I thought we'd take you along for a ride. So we're going to get out there and run it for just a little bit. We may open it up, we'll just have to see. Today is the only day we're going to have for the next few days where the winds aren't going to be blowing 15 to 25 miles an hour. So we thought better get it done today, or we're not going to get it done at all. So let's take it out and see what we got. Well, we got off the boat ramp safely. Fortunately, there wasn't anybody behind us because I still had some things to work out. I was worried about it wasn't cranking, and I figured out that I hadn't switched over the tank, so you have to choose a tank. So right now we are on the port side tank. We've got 16 gallons over here, 16 gallons over here. Motor seemed to idle away here pretty good, so let's give it a little bit of a run. Hey, this old Lowrance HDS7 is actually working. So I don't know where the transponder is, but we'll see. Bilge is working. Built out some water. So let's cruise on out here. The wind's come up a little bit though. Okay, here we go. too shabby. About 45 miles an hour, and we still had more to go. Sounds good. Make a few more runs, and I think we'll know what we need to know. Like I said, I don't want to get too far from the ramp. I don't know how old the gas is. It seems to be working, and we've got about 3/4 of a tank on each side. So let me get out here where we can make a run. There's a couple boats out here. We can get away from them. Don't want to disturb them any. It's been a long time since I drove a console boat. Like maybe 35 years. And it wasn't near this fast. Let's go again. Oh, you know what? I better get my life jacket. Forgot about that. Under power, need to have your life jacket on, and you need to have your kill switch hooked up. All right, I feel safer already. Not too bad for a 32-year-old boat. Okay. Oh yeah. Better. Well, the hook's kind of broke here, but we'll rig it. One more thing I gotta fix. Okay, let's make a run over towards the bridge. Can't believe his electronics are working. He said he didn't think they worked. Here we go. Gets up on plane, you think you're going fast, and all of a sudden you give it some more and it's like a little rocket ship. It's two-stroke, crazy. Never had a two-stroke. Our next challenge is that Ranger going to pull it out of the water. I got a tow chain. If not, maybe somebody will help me. I do want to see if looks like we're stacked up in the ramp. I'm going to check and see if accumulated any water back here. Bilged out some water earlier, but that's from washing and stuff. It was sitting kind of level there in the house. steering is a little different, but I'll get used to it. It's about all for our high-speed runs. Man, I gotta tell you, that was fun. I was grinning like a pig in slop. I mean, that was just badass. I've never had a two-stroke boat. My dad had, you know, a 69 needle nose skeeter boat back then with like a 35 horse Evinrude on it. It was two-stroke, but ain't nothing like this. I mean, you know, we were doing over 50 miles an hour, and that wasn't all of it. And this boat just flies through the water, this hull, and smooth as hell. It's gonna take me a little time to get used to driving it. Other than that, I mean, steering, everything worked. I was concerned there at the ramp, because just with it idling, the steering feels a little shaky. I thought that might be of some concern, but it wasn't. We did bilge a couple times out there, bilge some water out, and I was worried about that. None of the compartments had any water in it, and the only thing that had water in it, this compartment was dry, that one's dry, this is the live well. This one had quite a bit of water in it, and that one had a little bit. But I checked the compartment back here where the batteries are and everything. I didn't see any water other than what I had in there when we left, you know, from washing and stuff. But when I got up off the ramp, those two black devices there, they were pouring out water. That's from the live wells. And then I pulled the center plug, and we got out, you know, probably another couple gallons of water. So I'm kind of need to figure out what the deal is on that. Never operated a live well. There's controls for it over there, just forward of the throttle. Got what's fill and empty, so I didn't see anything on the control panel of what I was doing. So I don't know, I have to talk to somebody that kind of knows what they're doing. This motor is badass, that's all I can tell you. I switched tanks. The gas in both tanks works good, so we'll go with that. That Lowrance HDS7, that thing is probably, it's at least 10 years old, I know that, and it worked. We had sonar over here, we had charting over here, and it showed where I was, and yes, I was at Ray Hubbard, and it all worked. Gauges all worked good. So I forgot to check and see what the RPM was, but it was humming, and it's a two-stroke, so sounds sweet. Oh, one other thing, Old Ugly up here, 2001 Ranger, when it was new, it was underpowered. It's got 188,000 miles on it, and it got us off the ramp. We hit a little bit of wet spot, and it spun, you know, 6 inches, but got us right off there, and that's a pretty steep ramp. So I'm pretty happy, because I darn sure don't want to have to go ask the wife, hey man, can I borrow your Jeep Cherokee? You know, it's got 6,000 pound towing capacity and tows our 23-foot travel trailer just great. 4-wheel drive too. But man, you almost need to turn your man card in if you're going to do that. You know, hey honey, can I borrow your vehicle to take my bass boat to go fishing? No, that's not going to work. So anyway, we had a good outing. It's a lot of fun. Glad you came along. Got any comments or questions? Put those down below. Don't forget to give us one of these if you enjoyed the video, and hit that subscribe button. So until next time, you guys be safe, and we'll see you out on the water. Adios.